The Global Innovation Leadership Summit in Geneva was buzzing. Billionaires, presidents, scientists, the most powerful minds on Earth, gathered under one roof. Then the host's voice echoed across the hall. Next up, Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. There was a pause. Cameras zoomed in as the youngest African leader rose, calm, focused, dressed in his brown military uniform and trademark beret. He took the microphone. His voice was steady. Africa not the future. Africa is the present. We do. Not beg. We build. Gasps. Applause from one corner. But then a cuckle. Elon Musk, seated on the panel beside him, leaned toward his mic with a smirk. That's cute, he said. You want to build rockets while your people don't save clean water? Laughter rippled, awkwardly through the audience. A cold silence followed. Traoré didn't blink. He looked Elon in the eye. The moderator froze. Camera spun to the audience. Tension hung in the air. Was this the moment everything will explode? Everyone expected a fiery comeback, but no one was prepared for what came next. Not even Elon. Traoré didn't speak immediately. Instead, he did something strange. He looked around the room slowly. His eye scanned the world leaders, the tech mogul, the journalists. Then he turned back to Elon and Hesmelt. I don't expect someone born in Comforto understand the hunger of the forgotten, Traoré said, his voice still calm. You could hear someone in the crowd gasp. We're not trying to build rockets to Mars while Earth is broken. We're trying to fix the land where our mothers bled to raise us. A hush spread over the room. You mock thirst, he continued. But you've never stood in line with a jerry can under the sun, praying a government truck brings water. I have. I still remember faces of those children. I lead because of them. The camera cut to Elon. His mark was gone. Suddenly, applause erupted from one section of the crowd, then another and another. Tears welled in the eyes of a few African delegates. The host looked shaken. And yet, Shusva hadn't risen once. He looked not angry, but proud. Still, the drama wasn't over, not even close. As the clapping died down, a woman stood up in third row, elderly, wearing traditional West African cloth. She wasn't a delegate. She wasn't part of the summit. No one knew who she was. Security moved in, but Traoré raised a hand gently. Let her speak, he said. She was trembling. My son died trying to cross the Sea of Europe, she said softly. He believed Africa had no future. He believed we were forgotten. The room froze. Even Elon lowered his eyes. But today, hearing you, she said, tears streaming, I feel like I got a piece of him back. You reminded me why I matter. Tro stepped down from the panel and hugged her. Cameras flashed. The video feed went global. Social media exploded. This wasn't a debate. One tweet read, this was a resurrection of dignity. But behind the curtains, Elon Musk wasn't done. He leaned toward his assistant and whispered something. What Elon did next wasn't just surprising. It was dangerous, and it would change history in ways no one expected. Behind the bright lights and live cameras, Elon leaned close to his assistant. His smile was gone. I want every major outlet to target this clip now. His assistant blinked. But it's trending worldwide. Exactly. Elon growled. I won't let some soldier from Burkina Faso lecture you like that. Meanwhile, Traoré stood backstage, unaware of the firestorm brewing. An aide approached him with a phone. Sir, Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok. Your clip is everywhere. People are recreating. Schools in Kenya, Sudan, Haiti, they're playing your words to students. But Traoré didn't smile. One speech won't fix the centuries of silence, he said quietly. This is not victory. It's only the beginning. Back in the studio, Elon returned to the stage. He cleared his throat and forced a smile. "Let's not get too emotional," he said to the audience. "We're here to talk solutions, not so stories." The audience stiffened. Some journalists raised their eyebrows. But then Trey stepped back to the mic. "With all due respect," he said softly, "it's our tears that watered the roots of your progress." A thunderstorm of silence swept the hall, and Elon knew this wasn't over. Thousands of miles away in a dusty towner Ouagadougou, a young boy Ahmed Soleimani sat outside his home barefoot, holding a small cracked radio. His father had long passed. His mother sold vegetables in the market. But tonight, the world sounded different. He fiddled with the dial until the voice came through. Tress's voice. "Africa isn't broken. It's just unheard." The boy stopped breathing for a moment. He clutched the radio. Closer, his eyes filled with tears. "Mama," he called. "He's talking about us." His mother, wiping her hands, listened. Her lips trembled. "You think they'll listen, Toheen?" The boy asked. She stared at Thesters and said, Maybe this Timothy will." Back at the summit, the world was watching. On TikTok, one video had crossed 40 million views. On Instagram, a post of Tro hugging the crying woman was reshared by celebrities, athletes, and even some U.S. senators. But the most unexpected call came directly to the summit team, the White House. They were watching too. The president wants to meet Captain Trey. But Elon, he wasn't done. He had just texted someone, a man in Washington, a man with power. Aboard Air Force One, a call came through. "Captain Ibrahim Traoré," the aide said. The U.S. president raised an eyebrow. The African soldier embarrassed Elon. "Sir, it's more than that." He's shifting global opinion. There was a pause. Back at the summit, Elon's assistant showed him a screen. "Sir, CNN, BBC, even Al Jazeera. They're real covering it. Some say Tro just redefined global leadership." Elon's jaw clenched. No African captain should have that kind of influence in Silicon Valley circles. He tapped into his private contacts. "Leak something." Discredit him quietly. At the same time, Traoré stepped outside the venue alone. Rain was falling soft, clean, real. A young janitor walked by and stared. "You're the man who made Elon look small." Trey chuckled softly. "No," he said. "I just made my people look tall." Inside, the woman from the third row, the one who lost her son, stood with a journalist. "He's not just a president," she whispered. "He's a mirror." Meanwhile, deep in Washington, a quiet, powerful man read an email from Elon Musk. His eyes narrowed and then hesmed. "Let's dig into his past," he said. What they found next could have broken him. But Trey wasn't like other men. He had nothing to hide. The storm outside raged softly. But inside the summit hall, tension was electric. Elon Musk sat rigidly, eyes fixed on the live feed of social media, flooding with clips of Traoré's calm rebuttal. Headlines screamed, "African leader destroys Musk's." Mockery and the voice America needs to hear. But Elon wasn't finished. He had whispered orders earlier. Dig deep. Find something, anything, to shake Tro's rising influence. Meanwhile, Tro returned to his hotel room alone, exhausted, but steady. He opened a worn photo album. Black and white pictures of his childhood, his village, his mother's smile. Those face reminded him why he spoke with truth and heart. A knock on the door startled him. It was an aide with news. The USPRESIDENT wanted a private meeting. Tro's heart pounded. Was this an honor or a trap? He thought about the millions watching, those hungry for hope, and nodded quietly. Let them watch, he said. Let the world see what leadership looks like. In a stark Washington conference room, Traoré sat across from the U.S. president. Cameras were barred, but whispers leaked instantly. That president, calm but cautious, said, "Your words moved millions, but some in the administration see you as a threat." Traoré smiled gently. Leadership is never easy. It demands truth, even when it unsettles. They spoke for hours about innovation, Africa's potential, and the power of unity. Outside, Elon watched news coverage with growing frustration. He sent urgent messages: stop the narrative, focus on his youth, question his experience. But as the day passed, it became clear Traoré's vision was reshaping conversions worldwide. Back in Africa, families gathered around radios and screens, tears flowing freely, not of sadness, but of renewed pride. Traoré's calm strength was becoming a beacon. And for the first time, many believed change was not just possible. It was inevitable. A quiet voice can start a revolution. That night, Traoré spoke on a globality stream, his voice soft but resolute. "Do not seek to confront or to fight. I seek to build a future where no child fears thirst, where no mother mourns her less son." Millions listened. The world held its breath. Comments poured in. Tears, prayers, and hope from Nairobi to New York. But somewhere, deep inside powerfuls, Elon Musk's network moved to discredit the story. Fake news, twisted clips, doubts planted like seeds. Yet the people saw through the noise. A single tweet from a young African student summed it up. "He doesn't just speak for us. He carries our stories, our pain, and our dreams." As cameras closed and the summit ended, a quiet question hung in the air. Who truly leads when words ignite a movement? And who will be remembered long after the cameras go dark? While the world was still buzzing over Traoré's words behind closed doors, a silent storm brewed. Elon Musk's powerful ease in the media began, planting doubts, questioning Traoré's experience, his past, even the legitimacy of his leadership. Fake headlines flooded the internet. Who is this captain? Can he really lead Africa? Traoré's vision is unrealistic, some wrote. His past holds secrets. Others hinted ominously. But people, especially in Africa, weren't fooled. Radio hosts in Dar, students in Lagos, and mothers in Ouagadougou shared the real story of a man who grew up without much, who lost friends to war and poverty, yet dreamed of a better future. Traoré saw the attacks, but did not retaliate. Instead, he organized a live stream where he answered questions honestly, his voice steady, his eyes shining with truth. "I am not perfect," he said, "but my heart beats for my people." If that scares some, it only shows how much one need change. Across continents, people logged on. Tears streamed down faces as they heard hope spoken aloud. Just when the campaign against Traoré seemed unstoppable, a surprising voice arose in support. A top American tech CEO known for his influence and success tweeted, "Leaders who speak truth with courage deserve our respect, no matter where they come from." The tweet exploded. Suddenly, Traoré's message was breaking through the noise. The summit organizers invited him back for a special panel discussion, this time alongside Elon Musk himself. The stage was set for a showdown, but Traoré's calm never wavered. Before the cameras rolled, he told his team, "This is not a battle. It's a chance to build bridges." The world held its breath as millions tuned in live, waiting to see if anger or grace would win the day. On live television, Elon Musk smirked, ready with another jab. But Traoré's gaze was steady, unshaken. With measured words, he said, "Innovation isn't owned by one country or one man. It lives in every child who dreams of a better tomorrow, whether in Silicon Valley or Asmal Village in Burkina Faso." A hush fell over the audience. Traoré continued, "Mocking others does not build the future. Listening and learning does that." Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. Instead of a clash, The conversation became a lesson in humility and respect. As the panel ended, the applause was thunderous, felt not just in the room, but across screens worldwide. Elon's expression softened, a rare moment of reflection. Millions witnessed the power of calm strength, and many cried, not from sadness, but from hope. News of the summit's panel spread like wildfire. Every major news outlet covered the exchange. Every social media platform buzzed with clips of Traoré's calm strength. In small villages in Burkina Faso, children gathered around old radios, their eyes wide with hope as their parents recounted the moment their leaders spoke with courage and grace on the world's biggest stage. Meanwhile, in the United States, classrooms debated Traoré's vision. Teachers used his words to inspire lessons about respect and global unity, but not everyone was pleased. Some politicians dismissed the moment as a passing headline, while others quietly questioned how a young African leader could captivate the world's attention so thoroughly. Traoré, however, remained focused on what truly mattered, the people who believe it in his dream. He wrote a heartfelt letter to the summit's viewers. "This is not about me. It is about us all, the future we build together, the hope of every child who dares to dream." Tears flowed freely as millions read those words, feeling the weight and warmth behind them. Despite the soaring support, the weight on Traoré's shoulders grew heavier by the day. Each morning he awoke to news of new challenges, skeptics pushing back, old systems resisting change, and the pressure of representing millions one needed him to succeed. One night alone in his office, he stared at a photo of his late father, a humble farmer who never imagined his son would stand on such a stage. His voice broke as he whispered, "I must not fail." The tears that came then were different, quiet, raw, and filled with the fear of disappointing those who had placed their hope in him. But in that moment, he remembered his mother's words from childhood. "Strength is not just about fighting, my son. It is about standing tall when the world expects you to fall." The next day, Traoré emerged with renewed determination, ready to face whatever came next. The world was watching, and he was ready. At the United Nations, Traoré stood before a packed assembly. For the first time, his speech was simple yet powerful. "We live in a world connected by dreams, not borders. Africa is not asking for charity or pity. We are offering partnership, innovation, and hope." Heckled on world leaders to invest in Africa's young minds, its startups, and its bold ideas, the room erupted in applause, some standing, others wiping away tears. Traoré's message was clear. True progress requires respect, collaboration, and listening. News anchors called it a defining moment of modern diplomacy, while millions at home cheered. For the first time, many felt the tides turning. And for Traoré, this was only the beginning. The night before Traoré's biggest speech, the world seemed to hold its breath. In a quiet hotel room, far from the dazzling lights, he sat alone with his thoughts. He thought of his childhood, running barefoot through dusty streets, the nights without electricity, the faces of those he wanted to help. His heart was heavy but steady. He wrote a letter to his people, a letter he didn't plan to read aloud, but to remind himself why he must be strong. "If my voice falters tomorrow, no, it's because I carry the hopes of millions on my shoulders. But I will speak, not for myself, but for every child who dreams of a better day." Tears streamed down his face, not from wetness, but from the weight of love and responsibility. That night, sleep came reluctantly. The future waited. The day of the summit arrived. The grand hall was filled with the world's most powerful leaders, innovators, and media. When Traoré stepped to the podium, silence fell. His voice was calm, but every word carried the fire of a man horfus to be ignored. Africa is not a problem to be solved, but a continent of solutions waiting to shine. Innovation lives in our labs, in our schools, in our hands. He spoke of hope, of unity, of a future where collaboration replaced ambitions. As he spoke, many in the audience wiped tears, moved by the raw honesty. When he finished, the applause was not just polite. It was a standing ovation that echoed beyond the walls. This was not just a speech. It was a declaration of dignity and dreams. After the speech, millions watched the moment replayed again and again. Traoré's calm strength had shifted something profound, not just in politics or technology, but in hearts. He had shown the world that true leadership is not loud insults or empty boasts. It's quiet courage, unwavering hope, and deep respect. And now the story is in your hands. If you felt the power of Traoré's journey, if his strength moved you, please join the movement. Subscribe to his channel for more stories that inspire and challenge the world's views. Like this video if you believe in the power of dignity and hope. And most importantly, comment below. Share your feelings, your dreams, or how this story touched you. Let's create a community that lifts each other up.